The world of Netflix's Wednesday took audiences by storm when it released, blending gothic mystery, teenage drama, and supernatural elements into one unforgettable story. At the center is Wednesday Addams, a character that has fascinated audiences for decades. But in this series, Tim Burton reimagines her in a modern world filled with secrets, myths, and dark truths. In this stage, we'll explore the origins of the series, the myths people believe about Wednesday Addams, and the facts that make her story so unique. The first myth many fans have is that Wednesday Addams was always this gothic, mysterious teenager we see on screen. In reality, the character began as a child in the Addams Family cartoons of the 1930s, created by Charles Addams. She was quirky and a little creepy, but not nearly as dark and layered as the Wednesday we know today. Over time, through TV shows and films, her personality evolved into the sharp, witty, and macabre version audiences now love. Wednesday on Netflix pushes this evolution further, making her the lead character with her own coming-of-age story. Another myth is that Wednesday is just a teen drama with spooky aesthetics. In truth, the series is much more complex. It's a mix of detective mystery, horror, fantasy, and satire. Nevermore Academy, where Wednesday studies, isn't just a regular school, it's a place for outcasts, people with supernatural powers, and those who don't fit into society. This is not just a backdrop for teenage angst, it's a commentary on being different and finding identity in a world that rejects you. One of the most fascinating myths is about Wednesday's powers. In the show, she develops psychic visions that connect her to the past and help her solve mysteries. Fans often wonder if this power was always part of her character. The fact is, in earlier versions of the Addams Family, Wednesday never had supernatural abilities. Her uniqueness came from her personality and morbid interests. The Netflix series introduced psychic powers for the first time, giving her a new depth and connecting her more directly to the dark, magical lore of her family. The series also plays with myths about Tim Burton himself. Many people assume Burton has always worked on the Addams Family, but this is his first direct involvement with the franchise. His signature gothic style, combined with Jenna Ortega's performance, transformed Wednesday into an icon for a new generation. The dark color palettes, eerie sets, and quirky humor all scream Tim Burton, making many fans believe he was part of the Addams universe long before this show. Finally, the myth of Wednesday being an unfeeling, cold character is challenged in the series. Yes, she is sarcastic, blunt, and detached, but throughout the story, we see glimpses of loyalty, bravery, and even friendship. The series proves that Wednesday isn't heartless. She simply sees the world differently and values truth over comfort. Now that we've explored the origins of Wednesday Addams and the myths around her character, let's step deeper into the world of Wednesday and uncover the mysteries of Nevermore Academy, the heart of the story. Nevermore Academy may look like just another gothic boarding school, but in reality, it's a place filled with secrets. Fans often believe it was simply created for the series, but that's only partly true. While the school itself doesn't appear in earlier Addams Family stories, its inspiration comes from the gothic and horror traditions Tim Burton loves so much. It's modeled after classic haunted mansions, with towering stone walls, secret passageways, and eerie forests nearby. This setting makes Nevermore feel like a character of its own, shaping the story at every step. A myth many fans hold is that Nevermore Academy is only for the Addams Family. In fact, the school is a sanctuary for all kinds of supernatural outcasts. We meet werewolves, sirens, gorgons, and other beings, each representing a different part of Gothic mythology. These aren't just background details. The creatures reflect Wednesday's own struggles with identity. She may not transform into a wolf or hypnotize with a song, but she is just as much an outcast, trying to find her place in a world that doesn't understand her. The series also explores the myth of friendship. At the start, Wednesday rejects the idea of having friends, claiming she doesn't need anyone. But through her time at Nevermore, she begins to form unlikely connections, especially with her roommate Enid, a colorful, bubbly werewolf who is the opposite of Wednesday in every way. This pairing is symbolic. Even the darkest souls need light, and even the most different people. As the story unfolds, Wednesday moves from being a quirky teen drama into a full-blown mystery, filled with dark twists and shocking truths. At the center of this mystery is the terrifying monster known as the Hyde. Many fans believe the Hyde is simply another random creature added for shock value. But in fact, the Hyde is deeply connected to Gothic literature. The name itself is inspired by Robert Louis Stevenson's classic Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, a story about duality, the good and evil sides within us all. By bringing the Hyde into Wednesday, the creators tied the series into a broader tradition of Gothic horror. Another myth is that Wednesday easily solves the mystery on her own. While she is clever, determined, and fearless, the truth is that her success comes through a mix of teamwork, psychic visions, and even mistakes. She often jumps to conclusions too quickly, which nearly costs her relationships and trust. The series reminds us that even the smartest detectives can't work in isolation. True discovery requires openness and humility, not just intelligence. One of the biggest myths viewers had was about who the real villain of the series would be. Many suspected it was just the monster. But as we learned, the true mastermind was Laurel Gates, using manipulation and hatred to fuel her plan for revenge. This twist reveals an important truth: evil doesn't always come in monstrous form. Sometimes, it hides behind familiar faces. The series also challenges the myth that Gothic stories are only about darkness. While Wednesday's world is filled with death, monsters, and shadows, the show balances this with humor, irony, and heartfelt connections. The witty one-liners, unexpected friendships, and even the dances and music show that the Gothic aesthetic can also be colorful and entertaining. Finally, let's address the biggest myth of all, that Wednesday is just another supernatural teen show. In reality, it's much more than that. It's a story about identity, belonging, and the courage to embrace who you truly are, even when the world calls you strange. By the end of Season 1, Wednesday proves she is not defined by her darkness alone. She is also defined by her choices, her growth, and her ability to care in her own unique way. With its Gothic visuals, layered characters, and clever mix of myths and truths, Wednesday has become a global phenomenon. And as fans eagerly await the next season, one thing is clear: Wednesday Addams is no longer just a side character in the Addams family. She is a cultural icon for a new generation.